Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Janice. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about a timeline of sorts. What we know, what we can speculate on, what I've been told, and the funny thing about it is all these stories come from different places, and they're the same story. So, I want you to understand that if you hear the same story from 5 different sources, it's probably the truth. Alright, so, a few months back, I would say May, early May, story came out that there was a 17-hour emergency board meeting for Disney. Now, what goes on there is this. They're in the middle of trying to merge with Fox, 20th Century Fox. And, we didn't really quite know what it was about, but we kind of figured out that it was probably about what was going on at Lucasfilm. See, already, it was looking like Solo was going to be a disaster. And we all know that it is a disaster. And what were the suits doing? They were trying to figure out what to do. Now, preface this with, Bob Iger has been trying to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy for over a year. That is the God's honest truth. He doesn't like her. He hasn't liked her for a long time. Her only real successes were The Force Awakens, and that was strictly nostalgia. It really helps to have Harrison Ford show up in the trailer as Han Solo. That's what dragged people to that movie, okay? That. And the fan service, which wasn't even that good of fan service, but then we'll go through the problems of that movie later, because you really can't make a good Star Wars movie and write a good script in 6 months, and that's what Kathleen Kennedy gave J.J. Abrams, but that's beside the point. We won't talk about that. So, I had this emergency board meeting, and I think it was the week before Solo premiered, when Solo dropped, that Iger, and this is verified by Grace Randolph and several other people, so don't yell at me and tell me I'm a liar or I'm LARPing. I don't know what the fuck that means even. So I'm not doing that. I'm just repeating what I know. But there was a meeting, a phone conference call meeting between Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, Lucasfilm on the West Coast, Lucasfilm in England, with Kevin Feige of Marvel and John Lasseter probably of Pixar listening in. They did not say anything, they just listened in. Soon after that, Pablo Hidalgo, who is one of the biggest Twitter malefactors on the planet, deleted all of his tweets, left Twitter, and came back with an interesting attack on the parent company. Blah, 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 blah. Can't remember everything they said, but yelling at the parent company whom you should be very angry with. He has since erased all that part of it, that part of his Twitter bio, and now it's pretty much a nothing Twitter account. To me, it looks like he's been cut off from Twitter, that he has been told no more, and an associate of mine, a businessman that I might be doing business with soon for something completely different, basically feels like the Hidalgo no longer works for Lucasfilm. It just looks like it. You get the feeling there's nothing about Star Wars on there, even though Dave Filoni and several other Lucasfilm employees do follow him. It's weird. But he started freaking out. And then we get this very strange thing, and I really thought this is the way it was going to go, because it would have made sense. John Lasseter at Pixar announced he was leaving at the end of the year, and it just seemed like a lateral move would be to move him maybe to Lucasfilm. We don't know. And then we had this Reddit post that came out just spewing everything that happened at Lucasfilm, and basically it looked like J.J. Abrams himself put it on there. Now we know through that post, and I think through what Grace Randolph said in her video, and also from my contacts, that J.J. Abrams is not happy with The Last Jedi. He had signed off on the original script, and then they changed it on him, and he is not happy. He is going to have his work cut out for him trying to fix what was broken. But here are the funny things. This is all that's going on in the summertime. We also have been told that September will be the time when Kennedy steps down, but I want you to understand this, because filming for episode 9 didn't start until the first part of this month, August. And it's supposed to start, I think, at the end of June, or maybe at the beginning of June. That pushes her departure forward into October, when principal photography for episode 9 is finished. This is what's going on. She has no creative control of anything going on in episode 9. And you can tell, by the way, by the positive tweets that Mark Hamill's putting out, basically saying with the hashtag episode 9 will be fine in time. You know, hey, look, if Mark Hamill likes the script, if he's fine, if he's happy, you know, and not a lot of people say, well, they're just making him do that because he was supposed to do 3 movies. That could be, but I don't think so, because he didn't keep his mouth shut before. Okay, so I don't know what that means, but it looks pretty positive to me. So she'll probably leave after principal photography is over in October, because she is a producer, and while she doesn't have any creative control, I know who does, and I'm not going to say, but he is there consulting. She still has to do permits. She still has to sign paychecks. That's what she's doing right now. She could do that anywhere. Anthony Daniels did tweet out that she was in England for the beginning of filming. However, it doesn't look like she's there right now. I mean, she might not be there now. You know, transatlantic flights for these people is like nothing. So who knows? But she still has to be there to help work move forward. As far as, like I said, checks, permits, the mundane tasks that producers do. But she has zero power or creative control over what JJ's doing. I think JJ's kind of the de facto head of Lucasfilm right now. So anyway, Clone Wars gets announced as to bring it back. Now, part of this is trying to sell the streaming service. Okay, so, but it also screams Kennedy didn't make this decision. Let me explain something to you. She hates Clone Wars. Her flying monkeys at LFL hate Clone Wars. It's coming back. That's a big clue. Her mistake with Carrie Fisher. Basically saying that in that condescending, arrogant interview that Todd Fisher was confused, that Carrie wouldn't be in the movie. You know, I mean, it's just so sad. You know, like she didn't even care. The idea that this woman, I mean, she doesn't have a warm bone in her body. You know, was saying this stuff and then turns out not to be true. Okay, there's another clue. JJ wanted Carrie in it. Carrie's in the movie, despite what Kathleen Kennedy said. And here's another clue. Yesterday, comicbook.com basically interviewed, and it was was it comicbook.com? Yeah, and it was on another website. And Jeremy over at Geeks and Gamers did a great video on this too, so I will try to link all that stuff up together. Basically, Dave Filoni built the Resistance TV series, which I won't watch because I hate that whole idea. It doesn't have anything to do with Filoni. It might even be good, but ugh. Built up the series, set it up, and then handed it off to his underlings, his other creatives. What does it say? He's not walking away. Doesn't say he's leaving Lucasfilm. Basically, it's saying that he's overseeing something big, overseeing a wider assortment of things. This says to me that he's probably trying to get organized to, from what I've heard, from what I've read, from what I surmise, and part of it's speculation, but part of it's also stuff I've read and talked and had told to me, that he's getting ready in October to take over the head of creative. There is a big fight going on at Lucasfilm right now, but it doesn't look like it's as bad as it was. I just don't get that feeling anymore. And it looks like, because now that Filoni's delegating authority over projects, that he's going to be running creative. And I do know for a fact that the story group no longer exists, that people have been shuffled, and what's going on is they're basically trying to save their own jobs, and I don't think they will. I think as you watch it, as it gets closer and closer to October, you may see, hopefully you'll see people leave, just on their own. That would be the thing I would be doing if I was them. I would just say, fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm getting a new job. I'm gonna go find a new job. These people could find a job anywhere in Hollywood. You know, they're about 50, I mean, so that's what they should be doing. Now, are they doing it? I don't know, but they should be. So, there you go. And I just want you all to, you know, to kind of look at the timeline, understand it, weigh it. This is, you know, it's not just Grace Randolph saying this. This is several people all over the internet. Collider, John Campea, several different things. And these people are more connected than we are. I mean, you know, so I'm just saying, this is the timeline. We went from an emergency 17-hour board meeting with the Disney Board of Directors to a telephone conference call where it sounds like it ended up being a food fight between all the LFL employees, with Iger going, I have to fire her, I want her gone, and Feige and Lasseter going, to Pablo Hidalgo being the most public person who looked like he was losing his shit on Twitter. His Twitter account is now so innocuous, there's nothing there, which leads me to believe he's not there anymore. But I could be wrong. He's just laying low and he's not talking about anything about Star Wars. To Lasseter leaving and John Campea jumping in, screaming about Kennedy needing to be fired. That was a big clue too. That was almost like they said, okay, now you can talk about it. Okay, and then, you know, we get the Clone Wars, or we get Carrie Fisher being announced, and all the rest of the stuff. So really, it's a very interesting timeline. And here's what I want to explain to you guys. You have to be an observer of humanity in order to understand what's going on here. You have to read what's going on between the lines. You've got several third-party shell sites, like, you know, you name them, losing power and influence. They're freaking out and causing a lot of trouble for everybody else. All right, for Jeremy over at Geeks and Gamers, for Ethan Van Sciver, for me, for Mad Talk Radio, for Reviews for You, for a lot of different people. Because they're losing fans, they're losing influence, and they're just absolutely losing their minds. And that's another indication. But Hidalgo's behavior, the behavior of several shell sites, and you know who they are, I'm not going to say it, the actions of Lucasfilm as far as Clone Wars and Dave Filoni, just his behavior, all right? You have to be an observer of humanity in order to understand that everything that you're told about what's going on behind the scenes is happening, and these are the results. Okay, publicly. Why aren't they saying this out loud? First off, none of us are entitled to really know until they want us to. Secondly, strategic leaking. They want us to know. They want us to see what's going on. But they're not going to come out and say until they're in a safer position as far as shareholders, because the hedge fund shareholders are the ones that fund movies. And if they thought for 1 minute that this stuff was going on, they would pull their funding. That's why. Okay. Third of all, why aren't we hearing about this? It doesn't make any sense to air out all their dirty laundry at once. Okay. We probably will never hear about Rian Johnson not getting... It won't... No. It will not be announced, ever, that Rian Johnson is not getting his trilogy. He knows he's not. By the way he's been behaving, he's the only one now really defending The Last Jedi. He is not getting his trilogy. We won't hear an announcement. It will just disappear into a puff of smoke. Be put on the shelf, development hell, forever and ever and ever, never ever ever to be seen again. You know, I mean, they're just so, there's so many things. You just don't air your dirty laundry like that. Now, I can say this, that all of Hollywood is gossiping about it. Okay, that's how I found out, because I have friends in the business who are like, okay, that's how I found out. So I want you all to kind of just chillax, sit back, watch and see what people are saying on Twitter, especially Mark Hamill, because he's one of the reasons why this is happening. I'm pretty sure that he lobbied the board. I'm pretty sure that, I would say Ron Howard did too. And we all know how bad the story group was with Soilo. You know, no idea what they were doing. And the fact that there are people in Hollywood that still defend it and still defend casting Alden Ehrenreich for that. Just, I just can't even. I can't even. So, and what else was I going to say? I had one point, now I can't think of it. I hate that. Anyway, so this is stuff. Just sit back, relax, chill out, and watch what's going on Twitter. And, you know, enjoy it, because we're winning, guys. We are winning. It's very obvious that Kennedy has no longer has any creative control anywhere. Because nothing that I said, as far as Episode 9, you know, happening with Episode 9 would be happening if she did. Here's something I want to add, just to give JJ a little bit, some kudos. He knows he has to fix what happened on The Last Jedi. That's why we're hearing about a two-part episode. Episode 9. Because that's how much he's going to have to get in there to fix it. Now, he has said, and when you see, here's the deal, watch. When you see in comicbook.com, MovieWeb, doesn't matter where, an article saying that episode 9 will be the longest Star Wars movie in history, that's him lobbying for 2 movies. Okay? And he still is. You know, he's basically saying, I can't fix this without making 2 movies. Okay, now you can be angry at him. Part of this is his fault because he left it wide open. But he didn't realize what they were going to do after they okayed the first script that Rian brought them. Okay, and then they, you know, but we talked about that before. We know kind of what happened. Okay, so I just kind of want y'all to, like, you know, sit in a lotus position like this. Get down on your knees and pray. Or go and sit on the deck somewhere and drink a cup of tea or have a glass of wine or whatever and just relax. Okay, because this is political maneuvering in business and in the movie business, and it's very passive aggressive, and it doesn't always work itself out into the public the way we want it to. All right. In this way, it's kind of like working in Washington, D.C. Okay, which I have experience in. Alright, so anyway, just the timeline is the timeline. There it is. And go with it as you will. And oh, I do know the two names of the men that will be taking over Lucasfilm. One will make you cry tears of joy, and one literally tears of joy. The other one will just make you beam smiles. But I really kind of think it's the first one. And if it is, the sense of relief will be so amazing. So anyway, this is Steph, just trying to lighten up your days. There's your timeline. See you around the galaxy.